I'm in Mark's bunker this morning, and I just wanted to thank those that had commented about my hands. Thank you. Don't like talking about it. Some people get pissed off with it. I can tell you I get pissed off with it. Had the gloves on all night, haven't got them on now. There are things I use. There's this, which is arnica massage and CBD, which I bought 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, to test it. It's not as effective as I had hoped. I have put it on this morning just to test it again. Actually, it's not too bad. The only problem is if you touch your mouth or you touch your eyes, it's a bit uncomfortable. My go-to for years has been magnesium oil, which I think my sister recommended to me, or rubbed it on my shoulders without asking several years ago. And I've been buying it ever since, and I use it for my shoulders, for my neck, for my hands, which is fine. And again, it doesn't taste very nice if you touch your mouth with it. Yeah, so they're the things I use, and the magnesium works really well often, and then sometimes nothing will work. So, but this morning it's not too bad. It's really difficult. It's like I shouldn't be touching the unit. I shouldn't be using the internet. I shouldn't be using the keyboard. I shouldn't be doing stuff. But you're always doing stuff, aren't you? You can't not be doing stuff. And I haven't reached the point of where I can't do anything completely, so I just have to keep going. The cake was interesting. It's more. I think it's more like a. It's more like a pudding. So if you imagine the look of a bread pudding, but it's not as solid as bread pudding, but it has that look about it. And it's really tasty, really nice. It was very wet, I think. I sort of fiddled around with the ingredients because I'd got so much butternut squash, way too much. In fact, I just remembered I put some in the freezer to freeze on a tray, and I need to bag that later. So much butternut squash, so I decided to up the ingredients, and then did some poor calculations about upping the ingredients. So I think the mixture was too wet, so it needed another 10 minutes in the oven. It's quite a low oven. It's really tasty. The icing went tits up. The icing, again, too wet because I used Greek yogurt instead of cheese, cream cheese. So it was just wet, and I added more icing sugar, but I just couldn't get it to be a decent consistency. So when I put it on, it poured off, and I put it back on again, it poured off. So it looks pretty awful, but tastes nice, and that's okay because we're not giving it to anybody, so that's good. I was really disappointed that somebody thought that I might have been watching I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, or whatever it is. I don't watch that sort of stuff. I have no idea what's going on with Hat Wancock. I won't look. I'm not looking at politics. I'm seeing a little bit of what's going on in America, but most of the time Mark has headphones on, so I don't have to hear it. And if I look up, I can see it. But I just don't want to look any longer because I just don't want to look. So I'm not watching I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and I certainly have nothing to say about it that I'm prepared to. I'm just not going to talk about it here because I'm not watching it. I don't know what's going on, and I think it's a load of bollocks. So yeah, someone else asked me where I live. Yes, you want my full address or not? I don't know. So today's Sunday. I have been cooking for the last 2 days a pot au feu, which is like a stew, in the slow cooker, but it's with a jarret. Is it called jarret de boeuf? So that's well and truly cooked now. All the marrow will have come out of the bone in the middle. So I've taken the meat out, now bringing it back up to the boil, not the boil, but really hot. and then we'll put the meat back in just to get the meat hot, and then we'll thicken the gravy, and that should be for today's dinner. Um, I hope it's okay. I often don't like it. It's often a joint I don't enjoy, and I can't remember why, and I'm sure I'll remember why later when we eat it. But it's I've got a couple of them in the freezer, so I did need to use them. We're not doing anything today. We've got quite a busy week coming up. The bloke's coming, I hope, tomorrow for the Devi for the micro station. We had I had a message from the plumber to say that he's hurt his back, and since we've been waiting quite a while now, I've decided that we will look for another plumber, only because if he's hurt his back, it's not likely he's going to be hauling shower bits up the stairs. And Mark has been really worrying about that, about, I don't want to do it, I'm 74, it's just too much. And he thought that he would get involved in it because it's difficult when you've just got a one-man band here. So there is a plumbing firm in town which we'll get a Devi from and get them to come and do it. And that way you're not having to be part of it. We've been part of it for years. Mark helped when we did the bathroom upstairs. It was JP and Mark that did it between them. But, that is, I don't know, probably 12 years ago. Mark was a lot younger. JP was a lot younger. So yeah, we'll get somebody to come in and do that. So we need to sort that out. We're hoping that the guy that's going to do the ceilings is going to come back with a Devi. If he doesn't, I'm going to have to look for another enterprise, because that's a bit silly, really, getting on a bit now. Chances of it being done before Christmas are quite slim. I've looked for, I went to bed last night, and we went to bed really early. I think it was before 10:30. We were just so tired. And we read for a bit. We always read when we go to bed, and then I laid down and I just got so hot. And once I get too hot, it's really difficult to sleep. My hands were hurting, couldn't get them comfortable. So whilst I was laying there trying to cool down and trying to get comfortable, I was thinking about, how am I going to use my mobile? How am I going to use my mobile in Canada? How will that work? Will I still be able to upload to YouTube? How do I do that? I think I'll get up and look at that, and I didn't. I've looked at it this morning and worked out how I'm going to do that. I was also wondering about the card that I opened. I already had one, but renewed a Wise card, putting money on that. Can I use that in Canada? Wondering whether it was just European wide, but it isn't. I can use that in Canada, so that's good. So those two things are solved. It's interesting because there's lots of bits and pieces, and I don't know whether I'm going to miss something, and there's plenty of time. So there's plenty of time for me to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. But it's those times when you're laying in bed and you start thinking, how am I going to do that? What do I need to do about that? Well, for me it is. That's the way it is. So I'm looking forward to it not being Sunday. I'm getting a bit bored with double Sundays. Friday was like a Sunday. And then yesterday was quiet, so that's like a Sunday. Today's a Sunday. It's a bit like in the UK when you've got the Christmas and New Year things going on. It's, we don't have Boxing Day here, so it doesn't feel quite so long here. We do have, what do we have? When we have New Year's Day, but there isn't a day after New Year's Day. So I don't know what days they're going to fall on this year. I haven't looked, because we're not really going to be doing much for Christmas. Excuse me. Joe may or may not come. Don't know really, but that doesn't matter, because I don't go mad at Christmas. I just do a roast dinner, and I do turkey for Mark. I buy a piece of turkey and do turkey for him, so he can have his favourite Christmas tea, which is turkey and chestnut stuffing sandwiches, which I used to like and I don't like any longer. I used to like them and I used to eat them, but I not now. So yeah, I just do a roast dinner. And I read something on Facebook yesterday, and I have seen it before from a butcher, saying to people, it's just a roast dinner. You don't need to do all of that fussing around. You don't need to do what Jamie says about your Brussels. Just cook a roast dinner. If people don't want Brussels, then they don't have to eat them. It's just a roast dinner, and it's true. It doesn't need to be complicated. I mean, I find one of the easiest meals to cook is a roast dinner. And I feel really sorry for people that get all caught up in that Christmas furor. Anyway, I will talk about that nearer the time because I don't normally go talking about Christmas until the end of this month or the beginning of December. And then the beginning of December comes and I think, oh, bloody hell, Christmas, need to do something about it. So I might talk about that another time. So anyway, thank you for your good wishes. I'm looking forward to seeing an update from Sarah today about Luca, and hope that he's still improving. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be about, I don't know, about 4 o'clock here. Otherwise, I'm going to go back and play my game. Bye.